Hello everyone, welcome my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest crypto news and price predictions. Ukrainians raise funds to buy a Shahed hunter. Ukrainian officials announced the start of a fundraising campaign to help the army deal with Iranian Shahed drones launched by Russia's United 24 Foundation together with Monobank and blogger Lechenkov have started an ambitious campaign on raising $2.7 million to buy a Shahed hunter. The code name stands for an air defense system that, according to the initiators, will help the armed forces of Ukraine to counter Iranian Shahed 136 kamikaze drones that are continuously launched by Russians against the cities of Ukraine. Our goal is to raise 100 million hryvnias for a drone countering system. We cannot disclose its manufacturer and name, but it will surely help detect and destroy enemy drones. Save our infrastructure from strikes. These kinds of systems are in service with NATO countries, wrote Mikhailo Fedorov on his social media as he announced the fundraiser. Currently, the sum of donations has surpassed the goal. The required amount was collected in 8 hours. However, the campaign continues. According to the reports from the Ukrainian Air Force, air defense units of Ukraine shot down an average of 6 to 13 Shahed-type loitering munitions on a daily basis. That is about 60 to 75% of the total. For this purpose, a variety of weapons and means is used, from interception by fighter aircraft to small arms fire and Polish manpads. More than 20 drones were launched on October 10 attack, along with a swarm of Russian missiles. We are forced to deter these attacks using Soviet-era weapons, which is in deficit on top of that, said the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine that day, summarizing the results of the Russian strikes. Minister of Defense of Ukraine stated earlier today that Russia still has about 300 kamikaze drones of Iranian manufacture at disposal, and plans to procure several thousand more from Iran. At the same time, he noted, Ukrainian air defense has already learned how to deal with them, thanks to the study of samples that got into the hands of Ukrainian researchers. Improved Hawk Phase 3 SAM from Spain for Ukraine. Capabilities and characteristics. Spain will strengthen Ukraine with improved Hawk Phase 3 air defense system, which is in service with the armed forces of Spain. The Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Oleksiy Reznikov, announced that Spain will strengthen Ukraine's air defense with Hawk surface-to-air missile system. To be precise, these are 4 units of improved Hawk Phase 3, which were agreed to be donated after the Ramstein 6 meeting. Defense Express notes that the produced in 60s MIM-23 Hawk has undergone a number of global modernizations. According to Military Balance 2021, there are 38 units in a single version in Spain, namely improved Hawk Phase 3, which is the penultimate version of this air defense system. At the same time, the program to modernize their Hawk 21 with full digitalization and the introduction of the modern and MPQ-64 Sentinel radar started only in 2021 and is unlikely to be completed. The improved Hawk Phase 3 includes the MPQ-50 surveillance radar with a target detection range of up to 100 kilometers, which is responsible for medium and higher altitudes, the MPQ-62 low-altitude target detection radar, and the MPQ-61 target illumination radar. The complex also includes a command post and support vehicles. There is no information regarding the number of target illumination radars, but 2 MPQ-61s can be considered as standard. Each of them is attached to 3 M192 launchers with 3 anti-aircraft missiles on each. But there are also configurations with 3 and 9 launchers. The operational range is 45-50 kilometers. The missile speed is Mach 2.4, 823.2 meters per second. Guidance is provided by a semi-active radar head. The missile has a 74-kilogram high explosive warhead. At the same time, Hawk's main disadvantage is its low mobility. According to the standard, its deployment time is 45 minutes, and the transfer to the derivative mode takes 30 minutes. Improved Hawk Phase 3 specs target detection range, up to 100 km target destruction range, up to 50 km maximum target height, up to 20 km number of launchers. 3/6/9 Defense Express reminds that this is not the first air defense system that Spain is transferring to Ukraine. Before that, it was reported about the transfer of a SPIDE system. The first group of the Ukrainian military began training on them in September, which allows us to make a forecast regarding the timing of receiving these air defense systems. The first group of Ukraine's servicemen began training on them in September, which allows Defense Express to make a forecast regarding the terms of obtaining these SAMs. And Portugal to donate Ka-32 helicopters to Ukraine. The government of Portugal has decided to transfer 6 Soviet Kamov helicopters to Ukraine. The Minister of Defense of Portugal Helena Carreras stated this following the meeting of NATO defense ministers in Brussels on October 13, 2022, as Observator reports. According to the article, Portugal will transfer to Ukraine the Ka-32, which is the civilian version of the search and rescue modification of the Ka-27. Portugal is providing Ukraine with the Ka-32A-11BC helicopters purchased in 2007, which have been chained to the ground since 2018. The reason to it is Western sanctions against the Russian Federation. Maintenance of the Portuguese Ka-32 became impossible, and the airworthiness certificate for these helicopters expired. Moreover, one of these 6 Ka-32A-11Vs crashed in 2012 and hasn't been repaired yet. Therefore, it is quite likely that this unit is likely to become a donor of spare parts. Nevertheless, the Ka-32A-11Vs is a good helicopter with good specs. It can either perform firefighting or take up to 5 tons of cargo on external suspension or in the cargo cabin. The flight speed is up to 240 km per hour. The practical flight range is up to 800 kilometers. All the more so, because before the war there were companies operating civilian Ka-32s in Ukraine. One of them is a flying limousine version. Therefore, it is quite likely that Ukraine will be able to cope with the task of returning to service the helicopters donated by Portugal. And since the characteristics of the Ka-32 are not suitable for combat operations, it means that these machines will serve in the formation of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine Aviation. Russian T-90A are already used by the Ukrainian Armed Forces. One of the most advanced Russian tanks is already fighting against its creators. A short notice from the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine informs that the first batch of repaired and combat-ready Russian modern T-90A tanks are already in service with the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to the estimates of the Oryx community, the Ukrainian army has seized at least 12 units of T-90A since the February 24 start of Russian invasion. The T-90A was adopted by the Russian army in 2004, and the feature that made it significantly different from the original version is that it got a thermal imager from the French Thales, which was integrated into the fire control system and improved the tank's performance at night. Since the introduction of sanctions against the Russian Federation in 2014, France has gradually ceased the supplies of these thermal sights, which turned out to be essential for the production of T-90A. Good day to everyone.